Hey guys, for a while I've been thinking about restoring one of my old Jrx2s, and I've had a couple of old bodies laying around, but like most of the bodies that we've raced with, it's kind of abused. It's busted up. It's been tabbed back together with some cut up skull racing stickers and glued and whatnot, and I'm gonna be putting this on a shelf and just putting it on display. So my idea was to I have an old picture of my daughter when she was little with a similar body, but it was more of a yellow and orange and red flames, but the same skull. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna kind of replicate this skull and put down a regular orange and red flame job on this. So, and we'll see what kind of issues we come up with along the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna start out by tracing this skull that's here. So I got a little piece of tracing paper and some 3M blue tape. I've cut a couple of little slits in the tracing paper here so it can kind of go around the body a little bit. I'm going to take a partially sharpened pencil and of course my glasses. I'm just going to go around and real quickly, because I know I can adjust this, and I'm going to make it more the way I want when I'm doing the cutting out of the mask. But this will give me the size and the general shape. Bump right there. And this video technique is kind of an experiment also with the over the shoulder look here, but figure if we get going painting a body, we'll come across all that stuff that comes up while we're airbrushing. And I have all kinds of different skulls and letters and different stencils I've made. I've kept some of the flames and splooge graphics and stuff for certain vehicles. I've kept the little drawings and have gone back to those at times. But a lot of times I'll just start out fresh and I'll just find a drawing or a skull that I like, and I'll go ahead and trace it off the computer, or and then change it to make it airbrushable, more of a line drawing. And sometimes I can take a drawing that's a lot more complicated and simplifies it just to make it easy to airbrush. Okay, but I'm getting close on this. And again, it just has to be a rough idea. If you're really looking to make some exact replication, you can spend more time or get a different drawing. And I took a drawing like this. I printed off my computer. You can scale it to the size you want. You can follow the lines. You can make it more or less detailed as you like. Here's more of an original drawing of what I call the bandana skull. That's been around for years, appeared on many different bodies. What I like about the tracing paper is I can flip it, so it makes it a little bit different one way or the other, and I can use it either way. This is a flame pattern that's actually for my two-wheel drive buggy. Of course, it could be adapted to a four-wheel drive buggy, but for the last couple of years, I've kept my personal paint job looking about the same from buggy to buggy. So that helps me keep track of what and replicate my scheme. So anyways, I keep those taped up to the wall over there. But anyways, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna do I haven't drawn in the teeth on this, and that's a detail that you can actually play with a little bit later. So that's all it is. Okay. So that's going off to the side. I've got that Jrx2 that was, this is actually a brand new 25-year-old body I had laying around. And I'll just try to kind of center that. There's a small indentation in the body where the body clip goes. So I'll use that as a center and just try to make sure I'm centered on the body there. And maybe I'll put a couple pieces of tape on the side here just to hold down those crossbones. Now a lot of times when I'm getting ready to cut through the mask, I will, on this one I'm going to start with a brand new number 11. The one I generally use, even though this is the bigger knife, I'll use the number 11 blade. And I'll take and I'll hang on to a mildly used blade. And I'm going to show you how I sharpen those as we go along. Okay. I like to use the used blade compartment on these when you do have a blade that you're going to be throwing away instead of just throwing it into your garbage. Okay, that appears to be a good brand new blade. And one thing it's great when it's brand new and sharp, but the number 11 is so pointy sharp that sometimes you end up snapping the sharpest point of the tip off as you're going along and cutting. But I'll get to that a little bit later, what I do in that case. So anyways, you need good light. I recommend that if you need reading glasses at all, that you bump up to, I just threw my 125 power aside and put on a pair of 200s. And because these are just magnifiers, I kind of feel like when you're doing details like this, that anyone can benefit from wearing some magnifying reading glasses when you're doing such fine detailed work. One of the things you want to make sure you do is that you are always completely finishing the lines that you start cutting. So what I'll do is I'll just start cutting through the liquid mask, making sure that I'm cutting completely through the liquid mask but not deep into the Lexan. And I'll just go around and do the main outline first. I'll kind of get the ball rolling there. A lot of times you have to work that, moving the body a little bit as you're moving the knife, and just keeping it. One thing I'm always trying to do is keeping the line that I'm cutting visible. And a lot of times you have to adjust the angle of the body to the light just so you can see what the hell you're doing. And as I'm starting to cut out, I try to match up the symmetry to the other side of the body. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and just cut this all out. And when I get to cutting out the outline, I'll get the video going again. Okay, a couple different things here. I went around and I did a hot lap around the skull and crossbones with an outline. I don't know if you can see that or not, but along the way, the sharpest part of the tip of the X-Acto knife has snapped off, which is inevitable. So I sharpen this. A lot of times I actually find this number 11 blade to be a little bit easier to handle once it's busted off and resharpened. So I've never tried this with anything but this little handheld diamond sharpener. I suppose you could do it with a sharpening stone, but I've had this for so long I can't remember, but it works great. So right now, with a little bit of sharpening, that's actually where I really like it. So I've gone around and did an outline on my skull, and while I was doing the outlines, I put in some of the details, which were some of the crevices in the bones, dividing some of the white from black areas. So at that point, before I start on the flames, because sometimes the flames dive through or across, or some other graphic goes across the window, what I'll do is then real quick go around, and this isn't going to have a window outline or anything, but I find it pretty easy just to trace along that. The Jrx2 had a real nice detail for the window that you could just kind of follow along, like a lot of the bodies that you see. But this is actually a really good time to do the windows too, because I just sharpened my number 11 blade. And I'm kind of glad I'm going to have something to do with the big snowstorm. December 2016. Looks like we're getting a blizzard here starting sometime soon. So between just having the shoulder surgery and the snowstorm, I'm going to stay home and just paint a body, or at least get this one body, I would imagine, completely done, and waiting on delivery of a couple other bodies. So anyways, I'll get the windows all cut out, and then I'm going to figure out how I'm going to lay down the flames on this. Okay, I've just been plugging along a little bit, and was looking at a couple old bodies, and I've got a photograph of the body I'm trying to get closest to, but it's on my phone, so I'm going to put that on the post.